Hello my lovelies, here are your Ascension Oracle Messages for Beltaine, which is also known as May Day, the 1st of May. It also covers the evening before, so the 30th of April. And it's the third of fertility festivals in the Wicca tradition. And I had a little vision for you to do with it and a snippet of a song. So the vision was of a maypole, which traditionally is danced around on May Day, usually by maidens, and the maypole itself is represents a phallus. So again, the fertility symbol, and many ribbons tied to the top of it, different colours, and girls dance around and in and out and weave these ribbons around the pole itself. So the vision part of it said to me that this is to do with our DNA, and we're told we only have 2 strands of DNA, whereas in actual fact we have many, but they were disconnected in past times to disempower us, to prevent us from talking to the divine without the interference of a priest or a rabbi or any other religious person getting in the way. And these beautiful colours of the ribbons, they're the colours of the rainbow, and also associated with our chakras. So there's a huge boost of energy coming in for us all in and around the 1st of May to activate the DNA codes. So within us, within our very beings, in our DNA, there are codes. They are also within our skeleton, our crystalline structure. Also, there's a little gland called the pineal gland, which is shaped like a little pine cone, and it sits right in the centre of the brain, about the size of a pea. And around that little gland there's liquid, water, but within that liquid are crystals. So we know that crystals are transmitters, receivers of information and energy and such like. They've been used in radios many years ago, crystal radio they were called. So it's scientifically proven that crystals can work at this level of transmitting and receiving information and energies. So again, the maypole is our structure, our skeleton, and these ribbons correlate with our DNA and also the chakra system. And as Beltaine is a festival of fertility, it's also a fire festival, and traditionally fires were lit, and any couples who wished to be partnered up, they would jump across the fire, and also cattle were taken across the embers of the fire as it had died down, to ensure fertility and a good milk yield. Another part of this tradition is called hand fasting, and when a couple again wished to partner up, a ribbon was placed over their wrists to tie their hands together, and it's also known as tying the knot. When people get married, so, oh, we're tying the knot. So these their energies would entwine. And another part of the tradition is called jumping the broomstick. So when a couple had said their vows, had tied the knot with the ribbon, a broom was placed on the floor, usually decorated with pretty flowers and and ribbons around it, and the couple would jump over the broomstick, and then afterwards they would place the broomstick in a significant place in their home, and at any time if there was an argument between the couple, husband and wife, before they would go to bed, they would take the broomstick down and brush the argument or the upset out of the door. So the broom had a lot of different connotations to it. That it was a problem solver in a way. It would help them to dispel any negativity in the house if there was any upset or argument. So by sweeping it out of the door, it couldn't remain, that energy of it couldn't remain in their home. Now also with this energy of Beltaine, jumping the fire, jumping the broomstick, also hoops were twirled, and cheeses were rolled down the hills as a symbol of the sun, the solar disk. So you may see coming up sort of country pursuits going on around the time of the 1st of May. There'll be cheese rolling competitions and maybe hoop competitions and such like. And it's all from pagan traditions to remind us that this time of the year is associated with planting seeds. So literally like for gardening, but planting seeds in a fertile way for to produce offspring. So yes, human offspring, but also the cattle that feed us and supply milk, etc., etc. Now I've looked up the numerology for the day, and it's the 1st of the 5th, 2019. So it'll be 1, 5 and 3. So 2019 adds up to 3. So 1, 5 and 3 add up to 9. 9 is about endings and completions, so coming to the end of a cycle, beginning something new. So 1, the 1st of May, new beginnings, new starts. 5 is constructive freedom, that ability to build something, grow something, but with a sense of freedom associated with it. So you might have tied the knot, but there's still energy separate. So you may have heard me say this before with in the book The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. He talks about letting the winds of heaven dance between you. So in any relationship, you're not so stuck to each other that the winds of heaven can't dance between you. And the 3, which is 2019 added together, 3 is the joy of living, how we express ourselves with joy. So imagine these young people dancing around the maypole. And initially they do it in a clockwise way, and then they will dance back again in an anti-clockwise way. So it's an unwinding of things. So firstly you wind up the ribbons around the pole in one way, and as they unwind and unfurl, that is activating the codes, the DNA codes within us. Beltaine is named after Bel, B-E-L, who is a god of light and fire and a god of the sun. So he's akin to Ra in the Egyptian tradition. Also, on the morning of May the 1st, maidens, young ladies, would go out into the fields or the meadows and wash their hair in the dew. And this was to help to bring in a mate for them, partner up with somebody. And also it was known that quite a few folk used to frolic in the woods on May Day. And it was like they were given the freedom to do so. Now the veil between worlds on that day, on the 1st of May, is thin. So it's also about allowing our ancestors to speak with us. It is akin to sort of Halloween, but this is much more to do with how we activate that fertile energy within us. So whatever you wish to start anew, revitalize, put energy back into, could be a relationship, could be a business, could be a way that you've been running your life. Utilize this energy on May the 1st, because it's very, very powerful. And it's a bit like setting your course for the rest of the year. So there are other parts to the tradition, which is a tree dressing ceremony. So if you have some wishes, some dreams, some desires that you'd like to come to fruition this year, if you can get hold of some little bits of ribbon or coloured cotton, so each colour will represent something different, so like the colours of the rainbow. And you can either attach a little note to each ribbon or cotton with your wish written on it, and then tie it in the trees around. So it can be in your garden. You may see out in woodlands, sometimes in a park, and this time of year there may be coloured ribbons or cottons hanging from them. And because it, as I said, the veil is very thin, it can also be prayers for your ancestors, as a sort of remembrance of them. Some people also attach little seeds to the ribbons for the birds, because again it is a fertile time for the birdies. So if they're making their nests and they want to produce some eggs and their offspring for this year, then they need to be fed up, and so they can plump up their feathers and make sure that the eggs that they produce are not fragile, that they're strong enough to hold the little birdies inside. Now some oracle cards have come up for you, and they're all very interesting as well. Just wanted to mention the Green Man, because this is, as I say, a very fertile time, and might tend to think that it's feminine energy, that it's associated with the goddess and Demeter, who's the earth goddess, and this energy coming up, and it being a very fertile time. But you do need two to tango, so you do need the male energy as well as the female energy to make this partnership, to bring this fertility to the right place, the right space, the right conclusion or conception. So the Green Man, he's a very ancient symbol. He's a guardian of the natural world and the gatekeeper to her secrets. So you can sometimes see the Green Man in carvings, actually in churches. So he's pre-Christian, but they still put him up there. So he can be above a doorway. If you walk into a chapel or a church, they're usually up out of your eye line, so higher than your eye line. But how he is depicted is that he's maybe part of a tree and his hair is leaves. So he's the male side of the fertility. He's also known as Kenunos, who's the lord of the forest, or Ardu, who is known as the Dark One. So he acts as the earthly lord and consort to the goddess of nature. So there are many goddesses associated with nature. We have Diana, also Astarte and Ceridwen. So this energy running through May, it has an underlying excitement to it, that it's as they say, when spring comes, a young man's fancy turns to romance, and you feel that energy coming back into your body. So it's like with the trees in the autumn, when the leaves fall, their life force goes back down into the roots, as it does with us to a certain degree. Come the autumn and the winter months, we don't have as much oomph or get up and go. So that get up and go can also be called Kundalini energy, which is like the serpent that sits asleep at the bottom of your coccyx. And as it starts to unfurl and wake up, it moves up your spine, activating all of those chakras. As I said, those codes waking up. So as the trees start to wake up again, and their life force energy starts to come up through them again, that's when they produce the little buds and the blossoms. So tapping into that nature's energies, it will reflect back to us what's going on within us and within our lives. Now, it is also said of trees and shrubs and such like, they communicate with each other through the root system. So even if they're miles away from each other, there is an energy that continues on through the earth. And also as the branches grow and the leaves come out, they also contact each other that way. So the song that came with this vision, I thought was apt, and it's actually the Hokey Cokey. So you put your right foot in, your right foot out, in, out, shake it all about. You do the Hokey Cokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. And the interesting thing was, knees bend, arms stretch, rah, rah, rah. So I asked, well, what is this all about? So it's a group of people holding hands. And first of all, you put one part of your body in, and then you put it out. And you do that a couple of times. Then you shake everything about. You do the Hokey Cokey, and you turn around. So the energy of this song is about movement. It's about trying something out. So you put your right hand in, or then you put your right hand out. In, out. Then you shake it all about. So the Hokey Cokey, as you turn around, is this circular motion. It's a cycle. So it's a cyclical energy. And then everybody holds hands again, and you all rush into the centre. And then you all rush out again. And you all rush into the centre, and you all rush out again. So it's a bit similar to the maypole dance. The maypole dance is usually only females, whereas the Hokey Cokey is male and female. So my sense of this vision and the song is, it's a bit like testing the waters. Put right toe in, whoop, right toe out, and just shake it all about and see who you actually partner up with. But in the end, we're all one. We're all holding hands. We are all doing this dance of life together. We're moving in, we're moving out. If you get my meaning, we're moving in and we're moving out. So a very fertile energy of being receptive and yeah, doing a little jiggy, getting jiggy with it. So whether it is you literally getting jiggy with it with a partner of your choice, this is also getting jiggy with the universe, with this energy of fertility and opening up. So knees bend, arms stretch. And when I saw that bit, it felt like someone's about to leap. So when you bend your knees, it can be you getting ready to leap and stretch out your arms like the trees do. So bringing in something. So jumping up to grab something, to bring something in down through you. So your angel card, lovely. Freedom. So it's like I said with the number 5, it being the 5th month. Constructive freedom. To construct, to build, to bring together a way of being, a way of living that gives you this sense of freedom. It's also working in a team, because with the maypole dance, it's all the colours of the rainbow. So there are 8 colours. There are more than that, of course, because as we go higher up, they get more refined. And this little dude of an angel, got nothing on, so it looks like they're going to get jiggy with it. So this sense of freedom of taking off that old winter's outfit, that old suit that doesn't suit you no more, and not being afraid to do so. So this is Bel, all right, as in Beltaine, so he's the god of the sunshine. Freeing yourself up in many ways. So the fire, the Beltaine fires, we can see those as throwing the old stuff on to be consumed, to be burned away, to let go of, because the ashes of it are very fertile. You know, if when a forest burns down, it looks like the most awful destruction, but then after a while, the ash that is left behind, up come these shoots through this extraordinary transformational energy. So we're burning off of the old, using what is left behind to add to that fertile energy around us at the moment. Now the self-mastery card is interesting. Introspection. So because the festival of the May Day is joyous and uplifting and fun and laughter and flirting and as I say, getting jiggy with it, the introspection, you might think, oh, well, how does that fit in? But my sense of this is, okay, they show me like an old photograph album, and it's one you haven't looked at in a very long time. So it's a little bit, the photos might be a bit faded and not the best colour like you can have now. And people don't have photograph albums anymore, it's all on your phone, isn't it? So having a look back at when you were little, the wonderful outfits that our parents wore, that we wore, and thinking, how could I possibly go out wearing that? But, you know, we did. So taking a peek at them, maybe a little bit of nostalgia, but this says to me more of, look how far I've come. The journey that I've made in this life, look how far I've come. Yes, I've lost people along the way. I've lost loved ones, I've lost family along the way, but they're still there in that energy of that photograph. So what I said earlier on about the veil being thin on the 1st of May and being able to contact our ancestors, You might like to look at an old album again. You might have dreams about your ancestors. They may visit you in some shape or form. I know that when robins turn up, they say that they are represent the spirits of our departed loved ones. So introspection, it says, as a master, I turn myself within. I see my inner world, rigorously checking my self-inventory. I am never deceived by myself. I know myself completely. And I find that interesting because what I said about the activation of the Ascension codes, knowing yourself completely, because a lot of what we are all experiencing in these what some might see as chaotic times is actually meeting our true selves. So a lot of what has been beamed out to us through the media and newspapers and TV and the internet is fake news. It's fake information. It isn't the true us. It's not the real us. And we're managing to recognize that now. We're managing to discern what is real, what isn't real, what is the truth, what are lies, what is deceit. And sometimes how we go through life deceiving ourselves. So, oh, it's all right, it's okay, I'll put up with that. But when we have introspection, we see our inner world will tell us that you're never deceived by yourself or anybody else, and you know yourself completely. Now, interesting card showed up from the Wicker Pack, which is these ones here. And it's the cord. So this said to me, tying the knot. And partnerships. It's also DNA. And if you look, there are the different symbols there of the chakras. And again, these are the ribbons and the cotton that you hang in the trees. So it keeps repeating itself. The message keeps repeating itself. Are you tied to another too tightly? Have you tied yourself to another too tightly? Do things need to be untied? Now there's a Greek myth about something called the Gordian knot, Gordian, and it was the most enormous knot. It could fill a room. It was not just, you know, your little clove hitch or whatever they call it. It was this enormous knot of threads, and the task was to be able to undo it, and there was a reward for those that could. And over the years, all these young men came along trying to untie the knot, and it just got tighter and tighter and tighter. And then one day another young man came along. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. Let me know in the comments below. So he had a go, and he saw how these other guys had struggled with trying to untie it, because they were really enormous knots in it. And he got his sword out and he just sliced straight through it. So he was the one to get the reward. So he used his mind in a very different way. Those whose minds were knotted up with problems, with issues, anxieties, the more we focus on it, the tighter the knot gets. So he just cut through the crap with his sword. So running right through the centre of this cord it can be like a sword, a knife, the ability to cut through something. At the top of the picture, it's like a pyramid, or the Merkaba as it's known, our light bodies. So there's an energy here within this cord, our DNA, for an initiation. Again, this is the maypole with the ribbons around it. So when we are initiated into something, usually it's our choice, and in the maypole dance it's a joyful, light-hearted, apparently childish dance thing to do. So as we allow ourselves just to enjoy, to be like the child, honour that child within, to do this dance, it's a dance of life. See what part of you is awakened. See which codes are activated within you. For some of you, it can be all or nothing, everything waking up, everything opening up in one go. For others, it might be a slower process. There's another card I'm going to come to in a minute, and it's associated with the 31st of December. So we have 30th of April, 31st of December. So for some of you, the awakening process, you'll have more stuff opening up through the year. So by 31st of December, which is New Year's Eve, some other things might have occurred for you. Now there are 4 circles within that cord. So as we turn it that way, this feels to me like stabilizing our energies. This way it's like a rocket. So you can see these are like the fuses that are set fire to send this rocket heavenwards. So whatever it is you are focusing on, it's finding that stability, that groundedness, to not let everything fly off in the wrong direction. This is also a bit like a kite, isn't it? So whatever you write on this kite and send upwards, these are your dreams, your wishes, your goals, your intentions, what it is you wish to bring into your life. And as you release it and let it go, so on the 1st of May, yes, there are bonfires, and I guess depending on the weather, you could set a kite off, a kite in flight, and knowing that the messages that you put on it, whether you've written them or they're just intentional, they will go to where they are most needed. So these are the 4 elements as well: north, south, east and west, fire, earth, air and water. So it's sending things off in all directions, because what you feel or think you might be calling towards you might not necessarily be just to the north. It could be in any of the directions. So it's using all of those elements as well to manifest things in your life. And the rocket part of it, or the kite part of it, or the pyramid part of it, is the fuel. So that's spirit. That's great mystery. So you're being called to initiation. You are being called to undergo a test of some sort. But I feel that you're ready for it. It feels very exciting. So you know when we do have bonfire night, 5th of November, how exciting that can be, because the bonfire's been built over maybe months. And also there will be fireworks. So not only is there a fire on the ground, earth energy, but there are fireworks, so that fire energy being sent up into another element, which is air, and all of those colours raining down upon us. So in the way, that's again phallic, isn't it? In a way, that's the release of the seed, sending something up and out there, and this explosion of the fireworks and the colours, etc., being released and raining back down onto us. So it's a very, very fertile time. It's very, the symbolism is very phallic, but again, it's male, female energies. We need both of them. So I choose a goddess card because there's, we need this balance of energies, and you have this beautiful lady called Yamanya, and she's an African goddess, and she's talking about golden opportunities coming along. And it says, important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. So as we utilize this extraordinary energy on the 1st of May, we've burned away all the old desires, old ego stuff, old outfits that don't fit us or serve us anymore. And sometimes when we do that, there's a waiting time. But I feel with this energy, it's more whoosh, this stuff is rushing at us. It wants to show up. It's time. It's time for something to show up. So with Yamanya, she's an African and Brazilian goddess, credited with creating the sea. Every 31st of December, people in Brazil celebrate Yamanya by casting white flowers and miniature boats upon the sea waters. You can work with her by putting a tiny boat into the water and asking her for a wish. If she grants your wish, her waves will swallow the boat, and if she denies the wish, the boat will wash up to shore. Since the sea is the root of earth life, Yamanya's connection to it makes her a very powerful and nurturing mother goddess. She's a protector, supplier, and one who grants wishes. So I feel with her showing up, whatever seeds you plant now, a lot of things are going to come to fruition literally by the end of this year. Now, I've also asked for an animal to be with us for this festival, fertility festival. We've got crow. Crow is magic. Crow is showing up to take the messages that we put out there on May Day. And it's about pausing and reflecting on how you see the laws of Great Spirit. So it's moving beyond man-made laws. So yes, we are told to abide by laws that the government makes, etc., etc. But this is moving beyond that now, and tapping into that the energy that we sometimes need to bring things back into balance. So if you see things are out of whack around you, it's using your voice. Maybe sometimes on behalf of others. So be willing to walk your talk. It's also about shape shifting, so that ability to change our appearance, change our standing in the world. Again, using that fire energy of the festival, transmuting things. There are secrets as well held by crow medicine, crow energy. So when you are going through this initiation, things waking up within you that part of you didn't know was there. A lot of this is dormant in mankind, but the period that we're in now in mankind's history is about waking up. Things coming to the surface, secrets coming out of the closets, parts of you that you might have kept away or, as I say, were completely unaware of, things being revealed to you. So the universe usually brings you some sign, an omen, a signal about waking up. So if you see lots of crows around, they'll caw at you. So sometimes we just ignore these things and think, oh, a bunch of crows, caw, caw, caw. But if they keep showing up and keep showing up and keep showing up, you might say, oh, there's that crow again. And they might be in very unusual places where you didn't expect to see them. And once you acknowledge that and say, okay, I see you. What is it you've got to tell me? So sometimes the message has to come to you 3 times through various different avenues for you to get the message. So it can be that you are listening to a song on the radio as you're driving home. Okay, and you sing along to it, and think, yeah, that's great. And then when you meet up with some friends later on, it might be on the music in the restaurant or pub or wherever you are, same song. Oh, I've heard all that already today. And it probably won't be an up-to-date song that get played over and over again anyway. And then when you get home, you might open up a magazine or something, and they're the same lyrics show up again. So when you hear something or see something 3 times, then you know that that is coming from the Great Mystery, and it's for you to pay attention to. So I'd like to share one of my paintings with you. So the energy of this is with you for Beltaine. This is the Green Man. So this is my depiction of him. There he is in the woods, in the tree. And all that lovely fertile energy. Sometimes people see other things in my paintings. There can be animals, other faces. If you'd like a copy of this, they're available as prints and also greeting cards. If you'd like a bespoke, unique painting, then details are in the box below. If you'd like to find out more about my work, my readings, my artwork, my workshops, again, details are in the box below. So I do wish you a wonderful Beltaine, my lovelies. Work with the energy, because it's there for us. It's gifted to us from the universe. And if things have been a bit stuck around you, this is an opportunity, golden opportunity, to wake up on another level, to use parts of yourself that you didn't know were there, and to discover how extraordinary you really are, how powerful you are. And when you do tap into it, it gives you this amazing sense of freedom. So I hope this has been of some help to you, my darlings. Please leave me a comment. I'd love to know how you feel about my work. And thank you for liking and subscribing. Yeah, please subscribe because that really helps to boost my channel. So until next time, I love you and leave you. Thanks again for watching. Bye.